Channing's the one I feel sorry for. Imagine how she feels. You know, she can't have children. See how much Miles wants this one to be his.
Last time, on the Colbys.
Keep an eye on her, Fallon. She may not be the friend you think she is.
You want the baby?
Miles, I love children. I always have. I just wish that this baby of Fallon's could be yours and mine.
Would it make you happy if I told you that no one has to give you a grandchild? That you already have one?
What are you talking about?
Ask Senator Cassidy. You see, his son is your grandchild. Scott Cassidy is Monica's child.
You know something? I really like you.
I really like you, too. It's just a phone call, Daddy. I'm not asking you to tear down the Berlin Wall.
Honey, I can't do any more.
They won't let him talk to his family. Daddy, they could be in prison or Siberia for all he knows.
You can't keep on being responsible for him. He made his choice. He has to live with the consequences.
$2 million. What would Connie need that kind of money for?
I don't know. She could have been kidnapped or blackmailed. Anything's possible.
Any luck?
No, I can't find her. I've got our office in Bombay working on it now.
What are you going to do?
Find out where she is and take the jet there and hope to God the whole thing's a false alarm.
All right, keep on it.
What is it?
It was our Bombay office. It seems Connie and Hutch chartered a small plane. They didn't file a flight plan, but they left word they were due back yesterday.
Were?
They never showed, and they just disappeared.
Well, because we've got to find out where Connie is first, don't we?
Damn it, Jeff. Then have Soames meet you in Bombay. And call me the minute you or Miles finds out anything. All right? Goodbye.
Want to see that grandson of yours?
I'll be.
He's upstairs with those marbles of his all over the hallway. Suddenly I saw Miles 20 years ago with a toy fleet of cars he had all over the very same carpet. You risked your life just walking through them.
So does he with the cars he drives now.
Oh, Jason, if only this new baby could be Miles's.
I wish you wouldn't do that.
What is it wrong with me to want us to have a grandchild? Frankie's the lucky one. She's given you your first.
What difference does that make?
Well, you've always said how you were jealous of your brother Cecil because your grandfather doted on him.
Sable.
Well, that's how it is. The first is always the best. That's how you feel about LB.
That's nonsense.
Well, you admit that the first grandchild is always very special.
Okay, fine. Point, game, set, match, you win. Now, look, I've got this speech that I've got to finish this morning.
For what? Where?
Toronto. The International Executive League has decided I am their Man of the Year. We've got to fly up to the awards banquet tonight. It's even being televised.
We? You're taking Frankie?
Yes, we... Look, I've got to finish this before I go to the office. Excuse me.
Lovely choice. Though I understand Toronto gets rather chilly at night.
I'm sure the hotel is heated.
I hope you feel privileged. Jason hardly ever took me with him on business trips. But then I never worked for him, officially. What do they call what you do, dear?
Oh, I'm not going on business. It's a pleasure.
Yes. Faithful Frankie, always at her man's side. Mind you, it's probably wise. You never know. Someone could come along and whoosh, no man.
I'm not like you. I don't confuse love with power.
Well, it doesn't matter. In the race for grandchildren, I can afford to be philosophical. I suddenly discovered I don't need to envy you at all. Excelsior Hotel. Senator Cassidy's suite, please. Adrian, this is Sable Colby. Mrs. Jason Colby.
Oh, yes. Hello, how are you?
Guilty That's how I am. You've been here for weeks already, and I haven't invited you to lunch.
Well, I've been so busy getting settled and finding a school for Scott.
Oh, yes, Scott, your son. I've heard so much about him. Look, why don't you all come up to the house for dinner next week? Better still, why don't I take you to lunch today?
Oh, today? Oh, I don't know.
If you're afraid I'm going to snare you into one of my committees, I swear I'll wait at least a month. Look, I used to travel with Jason. I know how lonely it can get. It's much better with friends. Why not say yes? It's only lunch.
When you put it that way, how can I refuse?
Wonderful. Shall we say noon at the Penthouse Club? I'll see you there.
Be a car at the back door of the banquet hall so we can slip away right after the ceremony, huh?
2 cars. One to take Francesca to the hotel, the other to take you to the meeting with the Soviets. The press won't know where you've gone.
Oh, I'm impressed, Senator. Persuading the Executive League to move their dinner up a couple of weeks makes a nice smokescreen.
Well, you said you wanted the meeting kept under wraps. That's what you got.
It isn't every day my father's named Man of the Year. I wish I could be with you, Daddy.
So do I, sweetheart. But with Miles and Jeff in India, there's nobody else to take that meeting with the Japanese charge d'affaires. Did he drop any hint as to what's so urgent?
Yeah, something about our takeover of the Onishi Electronics.
Yeah, Sharon. Sure, put her through.
What do you know? The Man of the Year is taking my call.
You making sure I don't get a swelled head?
It's a lousy job, but somebody's got to do it. I just wanted you to know I'm ready.
Okay, Eric will drive you to the airport. I'll see you there.
I'll see you there. Bye-bye, my love.
And how are we today, pretty lady?
I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you?
I came by to see Miss Carter's niece, Channing. I'm Sam Erskine, his lawyer. You're Mrs. Langdon, right? My. You're even prettier than your pictures.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Erskine. Channing has gone shopping.
No matter, I'll come by this evening. So you're off to Toronto, eh? Jason Colby, Man of the Year. The well-deserved feather in his cap.
I couldn't agree more. I'd like to chat, but I am in a rush.
Of course, you and I know that there's more to your little jaunt than just picking up a bronze plaque, don't we?
Jason and I do hope to see something of Toronto.
I was referring to something a little more clandestine. A secret meeting, shall we say?
I'm sorry, Mr. Erskine. I never discuss Jason's business. If you're looking for a scoop for one of Lucas's magazines, I don't have one. Now, if you'll excuse me, my car is waiting.
Sorry to keep you. Enjoy your trip.
People just don't disappear, Bill. Can't you come up with anything?
Not very much, I'm afraid. But we did confirm that your aunt and Mr. Corrigan chartered a plane to Nepal on Tuesday night.
Well, it doesn't cost $2 million to charter a plane.
Jeffrey, the New Delhi State Bank, told us that they gave Mrs. Patterson the money earlier that day. She took it in a briefcase.
$2 million cash?
Right.
And they took it to Nepal?
They had it when they left the hotel. Your aunt also cleared out a safe deposit.
Well, then they weren't coming back.
Apparently they meant to. They had a reservation for yesterday. Only they never showed.
They didn't leave a forwarding address?
No. Oh, I almost forgot. They left this at the desk. It's addressed to your father. Any help?
Forced to leave in the short term. Sit tight. We'll try to contact you as soon as possible, Connie. Yeah, it's another dead end.
Jeff. This is Mr. Prasad. He's the night clerk at Connie's hotel. He's got something to tell us.
I promised Mrs. Patterson.
I promised you, Prasad. You're not going to be hurting her. You're going to be helping her.
Mr. Prasad, if you have any information that might help us find our aunt, we'd be very grateful.
She asked me to make a reservation for her and Mr. Corrigan at the Hotel Everest in Kathmandu.
And what else?
That is all I know.
Make sure the plane is ready to go tomorrow morning. My brother and I are going to Kathmandu.
I'm glad that we finally managed to get together. It's such a shame when two families like the Colbys and the Cassidys have to feud. Still, that's all in the past.
Oh, is it? Your husband has a vivid memory. Cash tells me he's still sore. I don't know why. He won.
He usually does. But that's one advantage to being a Colby. Power. There are others.
Such as?
Well, you'd have to ask my children. They really have had the best of everything.
You didn't invite me to lunch to discuss the merits of being a Colby.
We have a lot in common. Children, for example. Your son's name's Scott, isn't it?
Yes.
That's funny. That's my maiden name. My daughter's middle name.
Oh. My husband chose it.
You love your son very much, don't you? And of course, you want the best for him. Adrian.
You know, don't you?
Yes. Monica told me Scott is her son and Cash's.
Why did you ask me to lunch?
To thank you. I'm grateful, very grateful for everything that you have done for my grandson. It must have been very hard for you.
Don't. Please. Don't tell me how it was.
Well, we're very grateful. And now I'm going to ask you to do something even harder. I am going to ask you not to stand in his way.
Oh. That's what this is about. You want him.
We want him back to raise as a Colby, with all the advantages that that implies. You do want him to have the best of everything.
He has that. My husband and I have seen to it. The very best.
Yes, of course. But not in Colby terms, not even close. Adrian, Scott is Jason's firstborn grandson. He'll inherit an immense financial empire.
Money. Money, that is all that you can give him.
No, not just money. The truth. He has every right to know who his real mother is.
That is not a question of biology. It's a question of love.
Monica loves him.
Oh, God help him if he has to depend on that. He had to once.
Think of Scott. He has an entire family waiting for him. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Just think what we could do for him.
I have heard a lot about you, but they didn't do you justice. You're amazing.
You will think about it, won't you?
Amazing. And more than a little crazy. You invite me to lunch and expect me to sell you my son over dessert? He is not a painting up for auction.
No. He is my grandchild, my flesh and blood.
He's mine. Morally and legally mine. I have spent the last 7 years rearing, loving that child. And no one, not you and your schemes or your husband and his power, will ever take him away from me.
I'll meet you at the Japanese consulate at 4.
I want to talk to you.
I'm sorry, Monica.
That's all right, Kelly. I'm pretty busy, but you're busy. Wheeling and dealing up here in Colby Tower while that dragon lady you call a mother does your dirty work.
What are you talking about?
The upright, forthright Monica Colby. Hiding behind your mother's skirts?
If you come down off the ceiling, maybe I can deal with whatever's bugging you.
You know what's bugging me. You had your mother wine and dine me and offer to buy my son.
What?
Twice in my life I've had to deal with Colby women. First that harridan aunt of yours, now your mother. I'll be damned if I give in this time.
Adrian, believe me, I had no idea that she would go behind my back like this.
Well, then you're a bigger fool than she is.
I'm sorry for whatever she put you through, but we should talk.
We have to. There's only one thing I have to say to you. Scott is mine, all mine. I'm his mother. If you don't believe that, check the adoption papers. And if they don't convince you, ask him. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. I'll die before I lose my son. And by God, so will you.
Hi. Oh, is that new? My latest concession to the Colby bulge.
Oh, you look great.
Oh, I look awful. We both know it.
Oh, you're just bored being pregnant. It happens. Look, I've got just the thing to cheer you up. A baby shower.
No, thanks.
Oh, I'm going to take care of everything. I just need your help with the guest list.
I'm really not in the mood for a baby shower.
Oh, Fallon, come on. You can't have a baby without a baby shower. All those cute little clothes. It'll be fun.
What is it, Channing?
What is it? I'm just trying to be friendly.
No, you're awfully concerned with my welfare. Ever since our trip to the Colby Lodge, couldn't be a guilty conscience, could it?
Guilty conscience? I come up here trying to cheer you up, and you think it's because I feel guilty about something? Well, you're wrong.
I'm not so sure. I'm beginning to think under all that southern charm, you'd really like to be rid of me. Or better yet, my baby.
That's a terrible thing to say. Oh, I get it. Francesca's been talking to you. She thinks I lied about the phone being dead when we were snowed in at the lodge so the doctor wouldn't come.
Was the phone really dead?
My God. You don't believe me either.
Maybe that's because you're not very convincing.
Well, thank you very much. So much for trying to be friendly.
When can you ship the Chagall? Oh, that's fine. I'll have my assistant make the arrangements.
Are you out of your mind? How could you do that?
What?
What I told you about Scott, I told you in confidence. How could you have talked about it to anyone else, especially Adrian?
Well, I just thought that she should be aware of what we can offer your boy.
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Look, we will win custody of your son. I was just trying to avoid a court battle.
We're not going to win anything, Mother. This isn't a contest.
We're going to fight for your son. I'm only trying to help.
This is exactly why I didn't come to you years ago. I knew you'd try to take over. Make my decisions for me. Do what you want to do. Well, not this time. I may have lost a son.
No. Arthur Kate says you have a very good chance of getting him back.
But you'll lose a daughter, I promise you. I'm not asking you, Mother. I'm telling you. Stay the hell out of my life.
Careful, Sam. You might get your nose caught.
I'm just admiring the desk. It's beautiful, beautiful piece of furniture.
What do you want?
Came by earlier today hoping to pour some oil on troubled waters.
Save your oil, Sam, and go on back to New York. And would you tell my uncle that if he doesn't leave me and the Colbys alone, I will tell them the reason that you're snooping around here, and it isn't to admire the furniture.
I'm sorry to hear you talk like that, Channing, because there's some things your uncle could tell the Colbys about you as well.
Nothing they don't already know.
Including your Planned Parenthood program?
Planned Parenthood? What are you talking about?
Oh, Aunt Channing, you know how close I am to Lucas. He keeps nothing from me. Including an interesting little experience he had when the two of you were staying at the Excelsior Hotel here in town. It seems that he had a splitting headache. So he took to hunting through your pharmaceutical supplies, hoping to find some relief. Now, instead, guess what he stumbled on? Now, we both wonder what a poor, barren little girl would need birth control pills for. I bet her husband would wonder, too.
He'll never believe you or my uncle. It'll be my word against yours.
But once planted, the seeds of doubt sink their roots deep into fertile soil. Besides, your name is on the prescription.
I swear to God, if my uncle ruins this marriage...
You'll never tell anyone about your secret pills if you don't tell anyone about his interest in Jason's dealings with the communists. Agreed?
How could she be so ungrateful? Doesn't she understand how much this boy will mean to Jason?
Calm yourself, Adela. It's her son. Her decision whether she wants to fight for his custody, not yours.
Well, you're a fount of wisdom about this grandchild, Zach. How did you find out that he's Monica's son? You've never told me.
I never will. Our very first lunch together, remember I told you there were secrets I would keep? Yes, even from you. Well, this is one of them.
But this concerns me.
Excuse me. Yes?
We're here outside the Grand Ballroom of the Fairchild Hotel in Toronto, Canada, where Jason Colby is being honored tonight by the International Executive League. Here he comes now, our guest of honor, with his lovely wife. Excuse me, Mr. Colby, may I have a few words with you?
Wife.
First of all, congratulations. Thank you. And Mrs. Colby, let me ask you, how does it feel to be married to the man of the year?
I'm not Mrs. Colby yet.
She soon will be. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a seat.
Oh, I'm not Mrs. Colby yet.
All right. Thank you. Well, good news about Onishi Electronics. According to Japanese law, a foreigner cannot hold a majority interest in certain Japanese corporations.
Fascinating.
Does it become more so when I tell you Onishi is one of those corporations and that Jason just bought a majority interest in it?
What's that got to do with me?
Your first chance for revenge. I told you before, you can't hurt him in the bedroom anymore, but you can in the boardroom. And tomorrow?
Tomorrow is my first board meeting at Colby Tower.
Exactly. Now listen carefully, Isabella. I am about to give you your first taste of power. Real power.
Reading this rag in the kitchen.
The American Informer. What's this? One of those supermarket scandal sheets?
Somehow they found out about your meeting with the Soviets.
That's exactly why I didn't want to have the damn meeting in the first place.
They say you're selling out your country.
Well, do you think anyone who knows me will believe that?
What about the millions that don't know you? There are people out there that just love to read dirt like this.
Ignore it, Frankie. That's the way to handle it.
This time you could destroy your public support for Emos. You've got to do something.
I suppose you're right. Cash. Find out who owns the American Informer. Yeah, that's right. Whoever it is, we have got to ring him out. Okay.
Thank you, Ellen. We'll be in touch. I'm sorry, it's hopeless.
Oh, come on, Kolya. Don't lose heart. There must be someone.
That is the 10th girl. Not one of them can compare with Anna. I must have a partner I can work with.
And I must have a star who's happy. So I found him the most wonderful new partner.
I've heard that before.
Kildare, I've been to a lot of trouble. I've flown her in from New York. But I'll do anything to see you smile again.
I am sorry. Where is she? So I may smile soon.
Miss Georgina Sinclair of the New York City Ballet. Georgina, I'd like to introduce you to Nikolai Rostov and to my daughter, please.
Oh, we already know each other, don't we, Colbys?
Yes, last year. How have you been, Gina?
I've kept myself busy.
So you want to be my partner?
You said you wanted to dance with me one day. Remember? The opening night of our season?
How could I forget? Your performance was magnificent.
Now's your chance. Shall we see if we have the right chemistry?
All right, but the minute you hear anything, you call me up. You understand? Oh, and Dave, thanks for keeping me posted on this. Goodbye.
You okay, Daddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. Finally traced Connie and Hutch. They are somewhere in Kathmandu.
Kathmandu? Well, that wasn't on their itinerary.
I know that. Miles and Jeff are there now, though, tracking them down, I hope.
Well, I wish I had some news to cheer you up.
You met the Japanese charge d'affaires, didn't you?
Brace yourself. They have a law forbidding any foreign national from controlling a high-tech Japanese corporation.
What? Why the hell didn't somebody tell me that in the first place?
Well, it happened during the changeover when Garrett left. Then Onishi kept quiet for a while, I guess hoping to drive up their stock. Daddy, a Colby takeover sells. Anyway, the bottom line is, we had to divest nearly half of our shareholdings.
Well, at least there's one consolation. If we can't control Onishi, neither can Zach Powers.
Wish I had some better news. See you later, Daddy.
Honey, I was pretty rough on you the other day. I'm sorry. Did you work out your problem with cash?
Let's just say we reached a temporary truce.
That's all you want to tell me?
Yes. I'm taking your advice and leaving my emotions at home. I enjoyed that as much as I thought I would.
Thank you, Georgina.
Well, what do you think? Isn't she doing fine?
She will do. She will do very well.
I told you I'd find the perfect partner for him. Well, at least I've made one daughter happy.
And where would my lady like to lunch today?
Would you be bored if I said the usual place?
Nothing about you bores me. All right, lunch with you doesn't bore me. I'll have Sharon call and tell them we're on our way.
Sorry to barge in on you like this, Jason. Hello, Francesca.
Hello.
I wanted you to be the first to hear.
Hear what?
Well, first the good news. The Soviets are off our backs.
It's about time.
Well, after your session in Toronto with them, they're convinced Emos poses no military threat to them.
Now you can tell the boys in Washington I don't want to hear any more about it. What's the bad news?
Well, this could hit close to home. The story about you in the American Informer, it came straight from the publisher.
What's his name?
Well, officially, it's a corporation called the American Front.
But in fact...
It's a blind for Cartercom Publishing.
Lucas Carter is responsible for that piece.
You got it, every last word.
That's why his lawyer was asking me all those questions.
Sam Erskine? What sort of questions?
Yesterday, as I was getting ready to go to the airport, he dropped by to see Channing. And he started quizzing me about your trip to Toronto. I thought I played dumb, but maybe I gave something away.
No, sweetheart, that story was written long before. He's fishing to confirm something Lucas already knows. Sharon, find out where Sam Erskine is staying. That's right, Lucas Carter's lawyer. Mind if I take a rain check on that lunch I promised you?
Of course not.
I'm lunching with somebody else. I plan to make that man eat his words.
So, you saw Lucas's journalistic endeavor, hmm?
Along with half the country.
You sure you won't join me? I had these flown in from Baton Rouge.
How can Lucas publish a piece of trash like the American Informer?
He's rather proud of that piece of trash. It gives him a chance to say some things he can't in his fancier magazines.
Is that why he hides behind a dummy corporation to print it?
I'm sure he regretted putting a spoke in your wheel, Mr. Colby. I gather he felt that he had to stop you, just in case you had a mind to run for public office.
I'm no politician.
That's what all you boys say until someone dangles a carrot in front of you. Governor, senator, those are some mighty tasty carrots.
So he's smearing me now in case I run for office later?
He has kept his eye on you and your sister for some time now. He doesn't trust profiteers who live for gain alone, especially when his own country has to pay the price.
What the devil are you talking about?
That handsome little oil deal with the Red Chinese.
Washington wanted that deal.
I suppose they also wanted you to hand over technological secrets to the Russians.
The Soviets had nothing to do with Emos. I fought that battle and I won it.
Huh? I'm sure that's your story, and you've heard my clients. He has a feeling that it's his patriotic duty to warn the public that Jason Colby is not above selling out his own country if the price is right.
In other words, he's calling me a traitor.
Mr. Colby, he doesn't have to ram the shoe on your foot. It's a perfect fit.
Will you try this on for size? I'm filing a $20 million libel suit against Lucas and his sleazy scandal sheet. This is not my kind of game, but believe me, I know the rules.
Lucas, Colby just left. He's going to sue. No, Lucas, this must never come to court. We'll have to find some other way to take care of him. Fast.
Come to order. First item on the agenda. I am pleased to report we have finally satisfied the Soviet anxieties about Emos.
Oh, well done.
Now, maybe we can settle down and try to put that satellite up in orbit. Next item on the agenda is the problem with Onishi Electronics. I'm afraid we have to face the fact...
Good afternoon, everyone. Darling, I am sorry I'm late.
Sable.
You didn't expect me to miss my first board meeting, did you?
By no means. I believe you all know our newest member, Sable Colby.
Hello.
You can sit right... That's Connie's chair.
Well, as she's not here, I'm sure she won't mind just this once.
Fine. As I was saying, since we can't continue in control of Onishi, I recommend we liquidate and take over the best American firm in the field, which is certainly Southwest Synchrodyne. Any comment? Mr. Stevens.
Why unload Onishi? It's the best in its field internationally.
We did research on that, Don. You'll find a report on it right there in your board file. Within the next year, Southwest will take over the lead from Onishi. No question.
We still have to work with the Japanese. They won't be happy if we drop their prime contributor to the Emos project.
Mr. Fielding?
Jason, isn't the real reason you're dumping Onishi a little more personal?
Not at all. It's for the best interest of the company.
Well, Zach Powers also has a minority interest in Onishi.
I'm aware of that, Fred. My feelings about Mr. Powers are no secret. You all remember the trouble he gave us last year when he muscled in on our Denver-Carrington deal. Believe me, he will not hesitate to do it again with his stake in Onishi. Any more comment? Then the chair will entertain a motion to sell out our block of holdings in Onishi Electronics and tender an offer to acquire Southwest Synchronine.
I so move.
I second. You'll call question. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3. Opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hold proxies from Jeff and Connie. So adding those to my vote, that makes 5 for, 5 against, with the 2 abstentions. It's a tie. As chairman and chief executive officer...
Mr. Chairman, I haven't voted.
I assumed you were abstaining. I didn't see you raise your hand.
Look again. I vote no. We stay with Onishi.
So noted. 5 for, 6 against. Motion defeated.
Have you lost your mind?
No, I'm still perfectly sane.
Well, then, what kind of an idiot game were you playing just now?
Game? I simply believe that Onishi Electronics is better equipped to deal with the Emos project, that's all. Of course, I may be biased, being one of its owners.
What?
I bought the shares you divested. Wasn't that terribly clever of me? Now, Zach owns a third of what's available. And then you and I own a third each. One big, happy family.
This was Zach's idea.
Well, give me some credit. He didn't have to mention it twice.
You know, I can understand being angry at me, but what you just did hurt our company badly. Our family's company. You embarrassed me, you embarrassed yourself.
Well, I'm used to being embarrassed. In fact, I am used to being humiliated on television in front of the whole world, thanks to you.
What are you talking about?
Letting that reporter introduce Francesca as a Mrs. Jason Colby.
Well, he didn't know. I corrected him.
Oh, yes. What was the phrase you used? No, but she will be soon.
But that's petty. It's spiteful. You're a child. A willful, dangerous child.
No, I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. It seems that you can dish out pain, but you can't take it. Tell me, Jason, how does it feel to lose a round once in a while?
Look, Monica, whatever bruises you got from my wife or your mother, understand that I'll go along with any decision you make. I'm only asking you to think about what I said.
I think you'd better go.
No, damn it. We are going to resolve this now.
Cash, there is no...
Don't you understand? Yours and Scott's are the only lives I care about, more than I care about my own.
Even if we loved each other, that's not enough.
Why, because of Adrian?
Yeah, she's done a good job raising Scott. And she loves him. Oh, Cash, we're hurting her already. Should have seen her in my office.
Deep inside, she's known from the start this day might come. Every adoptive parent knows that.
We don't have the right to do this to her.
What about his rights? You carried him. You gave birth to him. He comes from you. It's his right to know that. It's your right to have him know it.
He'll be so hurt when he finds out.
Well, he's going to find out. Don't you think it'd hurt less if he found out from us? I mean, what is so terrible about wanting the three of us to be a family? He deserves that. So do you.
I want it so much. But it scares me.
Let your child love you. Let me love you again. Don't shut us out this time.
The doorman at the Everest Hotel told us they hired a car to come out here.
Yes. Mrs. Patterson and her friend, Mr. Corrigan, arrived here to see one of our lay monks on retreat.
Why would Connie want to see a Tibetan monk?
So where is he? What's his name?
Within our Sangha, our order, he is called Getsul Kempo.
What's his name outside your Sangha?
He's American, I think, or English. I can tell you no more than that.
You can't, or you won't.
When a man seeks escape from the material world in our confines, he does so with the knowledge that he will remain safe and anonymous.
We have to find out what happened to our aunt.
I'm sorry, I cannot help you.
Look, our aunt and her friend may be in great danger. We believe they are carrying $2 million in cash, which is more than enough to warrant a kidnapping or a murder. Now, we're trying to respect your traditions here, but please, this is a matter of life and death. Won't you tell us what you know?
His name is Parker. Hoyt Parker.
Good. Can we talk to him?
Getzel Kempo departed shortly after your aunt visited him.
Where did he go?
I don't know. He left his cell in a great hurry.
Oh, can we see it?
Again, our rules do not permit.
Please. He may have left something behind that might lead us to her. Hey, Miles, check this out. He knows who she is.
Yeah, and what she's worth. You left that behind.
A man from the police is here to see you. He has news of your aunt.
To the sweet taste of revenge. Well, you should have seen the look on Jason's face when I told him I'd bought up the Anishi stock he'd divested. You're right, Sam. Power is the greatest high of all.
Power in general or powers in particular?
Both. You must be pleased, too. To my excellent professor.
I'll be far happier when hurting Jason no longer gives you so much pleasure. Maybe then you'll take my proposal of marriage more seriously, huh?
Who's that?
Sorry to disturb you, Mr. Powers. I was told to give you this.
Oh, thank you.
Something the matter?
Oh, an unnecessary inconvenience, Savilla. It will only take a minute. Excuse me. Now, what's so important you had to take me away from my lovely dinner companion?
Just a friendly warning.
Warning?
I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. Using Sable as a puppet in my boardroom.
My puppet? Sable? Oh, no, Jason. You created her. I only help pull the strings.
You make me feel sorry for her.
Why? She's enjoying herself. But if you're not, then you'd better learn to pick your enemies more wisely. Of course, I do have some influence with her. Maybe I can put in a good word for you.
Good word from you? I can live without that.
We all need our backs scratched, Jason. It's the one spot we can't reach ourselves. I'll call off Sable if you let me in on the Emos project.
You keep on itching, friend. As for Sable, I've dealt with her for 28 years. I guess I can deal with her now.
You think so? And you learned very little in all those years, darling. But don't worry. School has just begun.
Excuse me, Mr. Colby. You have a long-distance call. They said it was urgent.
Jason Colby. Yes, sir. Who's this?
India. Yes. Jeff? Jeff, is that you?
What?
The connection is there. That's better.
Wait. I can't.
Yeah, no. No, that can't be true.
Jason, what's wrong? What's happened? Oh, my God. Has something happened to Miles?
No, not Miles. It's Connie. She's dead. Connie's dead.
Five families, each more different than the other. And only SoapNet can unlock their stories, their secrets, and all their heartbreaks. Starting July 1st, jump into another world. Weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern and Pacific and midnight. Get all the info when we SoapNote the first 2 weeks.